Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the chilly Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be escape the fog and break the cycle. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So jumping right in, when I say escape the fog, I'm referring to the narcissistic fog, that zombie-like, trance-like state that you were held captive in. Maybe you're still in it to a degree. The point is, the narcissistic fog is a place that only you can identify with, because most people on the planet, they are not in a toxic narcissistic relationship. They weren't placed in the narcissistic fog. They did not encounter the trauma bond, but that is you. That's why you're on the channel. That's why you're getting the wisdom. You're becoming awakened and aware, educated and empowered. And escaping the fog is not an easy thing to do. But each and every day, you understand that you are the value, you are the priority, your worth, you understand these things that you need to get out of the narcissistic fog. So for the veterans on the channel, if you escaped it and you're out of it and you're now in the beautiful, abundant, shining light, please drop comments below. Pay it forward to people on the channel who perhaps this is the first video they're consuming. But that's the narcissistic fog. Now, the next thing is to break the cycle. I'm referring to the narcissistic abusive cycle. That is a cycle that people are placed in, and I certainly was one of those people, that we did not even know what the narcissistic abusive cycle was. We didn't know how we got there. We did not know that there was a way out. We were living and or existing in that narcissistic fog each and every day, feeling trapped, being manipulated, being gaslit, being administered the silent treatment, stonewalling, rage fits. We experienced so much toxic and poor behavior from the narcissist, or perhaps narcissists, plural. We didn't know what was going on. And then lo and behold, we typed something in a search engine or on YouTube, like spouse won't talk to me or something like that. And the next thing we know, we found out that there are terms for all of these behaviors that we experienced. And we go down the rabbit hole of education and understanding that we have to learn the glossary, the terms and the definitions, such as what is object constancy, what is a rage fit, what is the trauma bond, what is a smear campaign, etc. When we did this, we realized that it wasn't just us that were trapped in that narcissistic fog. There are literally millions, hundreds of millions that have not only experienced it, but are still in it right now. And there are so many people that are trapped in that narcissistic fog and in the trauma bond that they don't know that there's a way out, and they don't know where they are. They are just so beaten down, being peppered with abuse day in and day out, month after month, year after year, maybe even decade after decade. And then they get that first light bulb moment and they're like, oh my gosh, wait, there are terms for this? And now this person I'm thinking about, they're a narcissist or a toxic individual. And then they understand that person checks the box, check, 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 check. And then you're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this. This matches up with my experiences to a T. The reason it does is because you most likely were and or are in a toxic narcissistic relationship. Maybe you have exited the fog, and if you did, please pay it forward. That's a great thing. That means most likely you've broken the trauma bond, the most challenging and difficult part of a relationship known to humankind. The trauma bond is unlike anything you've ever experienced. And what it means is the narcissist or a toxic individual is intermittently peppering you with highs and lows and pushes and pulls. They're taking you very high and they're dropping you very low. They are validating you and then they're taking all that validation away. They are keeping you trapped in the push-pull, the high-low, the roller coaster of emotions. That is what a narcissistic relationship is in a nutshell. That is why when you experience these poor behaviors and you can't wrap your head around what kind of relationship you're in, you really, not only, number one, are isolated and you feel alone, but two, you can't wrap your head around what kind of relationship you are or were in, and you tried to explain things to maybe family members or to coworkers or to friends or people in communities or organizations you were a part of, or to neighbors, whomever. And these people, they looked at you and scratched their head and said, I don't know what you're talking about. I can't see that. The person you're referring to, maybe your spouse as an example, they're a kind, loving individual. They're always nice to me. They always put a smile on. They ask me how I'm doing. They're an amazing person. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, again, that is on purpose. Keep in mind, the narcissist is a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde-like individual, which means to the exterior world, they put on their game face. They give their rosy cheeks and they bat their eyelashes and they put on a perma-smile or a perma-grin, wink, wink. But behind closed doors or in cars or when you are isolated with them, many times, that's when you endure the toxicity of the relationship. That's when you are gaslit. That's when you're experiencing verbal abuse, mental abuse, spiritual abuse, financial abuse, at times even physical abuse. All of these things add up to a not good relationship, i.e. a toxic narcissistic relationship. So the narcissists, keep this in mind also, they infiltrate people's lives under cloak and dagger, using smoke and mirrors. They glom onto people who are unsuspecting people, and they really tried to get close to these people. And for a period of time, that was you. Remember when you first met the narcissist, not only did you not know what narcissism was, you didn't know it was prevalent on the planet, but you thought that person that you're thinking about was the nicest or kindest person that you've ever met. That's probably why you fell in love with them, or befriended them, or loaned them money, or put a roof over their head, or created a business with them, or started a family with them, or whatever you did with them. They tricked you, they manipulated you, they trapped you, and they kept you isolated and held captive in a place called the narcissistic fog. That was on purpose, because the narcissist needs people to regulate themselves. They are not a healthy, stable individual mentally like you are. What they are is they are people that need to control other people. They need to manipulate other people. They need to drive wedges between relationships with you and anything that matters to you, which included your social circle, your network of friends, your job, your health, your status, your empathy, your love. Everything that made you you, the narcissist wanted to take that away from you. And again, they succeeded for a period of time, which was the length of the relationship. And for the body, the most of that relationship, the longest period of time, that was the narcissistic fog, where you were existing. And when you finally got your first light bulb moment and finally realized, oh my gosh, there's a term for this. There's a community that are a healing community about narcissistic abuse. Yes, when you figure that out, you're like, wait, I need to get out of here. How do I do it? I don't know what to do. Well, I'll tell you a few things. Number one, either you ended it yourself, and if you did, you had to develop an exit plan. So for those of you who are looking and or waiting to create an exit plan, I would strongly suggest do so now. I'm not saying pack up tomorrow and leave. I'm saying if you have that ability to pack up and leave, do it. Run for the hills as soon as possible. But if you are still tied or tethered to the narcissist, maybe you have kids, maybe the assets are under both your names, or maybe you're still married, etc., develop an exit plan, execute it, have a timeline, and understand that you need to get away from these people as fast as possible. The narcissistic relationship will never improve. It only deteriorates over time. And drop comments below if that resonates with you, because remember, when you met the narcissist in the beginning of the relationship, A, you didn't know who they were, but B, you thought you were headed for a great life of memories, creating memories with that person, growing old together, etc., most likely. And then things shifted or turned on a dime. And they turned when either A, you had kids, B, you relocated, C, you married them, D, you went into business with them or loaned them money or signed a deed to a house or property. That's when everything shifted, and that's when the narcissist began to devalue you more and more and more. And you were trying to get back to that euphoric / love bomb stage, or the inception of the relationship, and you never could quite get back there. The reason why you couldn't get back there is because the narcissist now had you prisoner, trapped, captured, if you will, in the narcissistic fog, that zombie-like, trance-like state. They wanted to keep you there. They wanted to give you breadcrumbs of hope, breadcrumbs of fake empathy, breadcrumbs of humanity, breadcrumbs of love. None of these things the narcissist possesses. What the narcissist possesses is an empty, hollow shell. They're a bottomless pit looking to always be satiated by controlling other people's emotions, thoughts, actions, and resources. And this pit is satiated for a small period of time in the euphoric / love bomb stage. That's when the narcissist really does all their work on you to get you to fall in love with them or to get you to enter a relationship with them. But as soon as they have you, they don't want you any longer, but they want to keep you isolated for themselves in that narcissistic fog. Now, why I keep emphasizing the narcissistic fog and breaking the cycle is because if you were in the narcissistic abusive cycle, you know what I'm talking about. It is not a good place to be existing, not knowing when that front door opens, will you see Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde? Will you be peppered with abuse? Will the person that opens the front door give you a fake perma-smile? Or will they hammer you with an endless to-do list? We never knew what was going to go on back then. But now that we've healed and or are well on the healing path, we understand that that was a relationship we had to go through. And we are no longer in the narcissistic fog. We have broken the trauma bond. We have broken the most challenging relationship known to humankind, which is the trauma bond. And if you've done that, again, share your wisdom with the community. When you did that, it was like weaning yourself off of a substance. Now, again, I don't do substances. I never have and I never will, but that's the best example I can share it with you. If you had an issue with substances, you had to wean yourself off of it, no matter what it is. Maybe it was a cigarette or a beverage or something like that. Well, you couldn't go cold turkey necessarily, could you? No. If you could, you were a very strong individual that did that. Full disclosure, honestly, that's what I did, but not many people can do that. I'm being totally blunt with you. But weaning yourself off of this is not easy to do, but you will do it in time, in your time. You must understand that you have to take action, if not now, when? Because staying trapped in that narcissistic fog is not any way you should be living your life. That's where you are existing. You're not even living, because you become a shell of yourself. You're so beaten down and broken down, and you are yearning and or craving contact with the narcissist. That's exactly how it was, and that's how it is for some people. I get that. The whole idea is understand that you are the priority. You come first, second, and third, and that you must heal. Nobody's going to come knock on your door. No one is going to save you. No one's going to rescue you. No one is going to be there to support you on those lonely nights, or the nights you're crying, and the nights that you're all by yourself and isolated or self-isolating. This is when you're gonna have to put yourself back together, pick yourself up, dust yourself off by the bootstraps, and understand that you are the priority. You come first, second, and third. Now, I'm unpacking a lot of wisdom and education here for you. If you've broken the cycle, please drop comments below. If you've exited the fog and then broken the cycle, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you believe you're still in the narcissistic fog to a degree, you really need to understand that there is so much abundance out in the world for you. Once you close the chapter on the narcissist, you block them, you go no contact, you delete them, you remove all flying monkeys and people associated with them, and you begin living your best life. And of course, after you've healed, you must heal from that relationship. The narcissistic relationship is unlike anything you've ever been a part of, because most relationships you were ever a part of, the relationships came and went, meaning that person was in your life for a period of time, and after they exited it, most likely you don't think about them anymore, or you don't think about them that much. But the narcissistic relationship is a relationship you need to heal from. You need to learn from it. You need to understand that that relationship was a lifelong learning lesson that you have to process. It will take time. It will take a mountain of work, but in time you will do it. You need to do this in order to A, escape the narcissistic fog, and B, break the trauma bond. Now, all these things I'm mentioning to you, these are challenging things. Again, I did it. If I did it, you can do it. Each and every one of us are now rising through the ashes like a phoenix, and we are understanding that we are so important. We're learning about our worth and our value. That is something the narcissist never wanted us to do. What the narcissist wanted us to do, sincerely, is to stay existing in that low vibrational quagmire state where they exist. They wanted to steal your beautiful bright light. They wanted to trade places with you and capture all of your beautiful energy and switch places with you and keep you in the low vibrational state, or the narcissistic fog. That's where they wanted you existing, and they succeeded for such a long period of time until you finally got the wisdom. By the way, I left one part out. The other way these relationships end is if you were discarded. And if you were, my heart goes out to you. It's not a pleasant experience, to say the least, to go through. But if that happened, you need to understand a few things. One, the new supply is getting peppered with abuse just like you were. So don't think the new supply is living a life of puppies and rainbows. Number two, you need to understand that you were manipulated and taken advantage of, and the narcissist took everything they possibly could from you, and they moved on to the new supply. And number three is you need to understand it wasn't your fault. Not one bit. The narcissist placed you in a place called the narcissistic fog or the trauma bond. They try to get as close to you as possible, suck you dry from all of your resources and everything that made you you, and then they want to crumble you up like a sheet of paper and throw you away on the freeway. That's what they do. Another side note here is, if the relationship has ended for you years ago, months ago, decades ago, don't forget what time of season we're in. We're in the holiday season currently. Do not accept a holiday Hoover. If anybody around the narcissist in the past, or the narcissist themselves, find a way to contact you, I am strongly suggesting to not accept any Hoover whatsoever. That means do not open an email, do not accept a package, do not discuss anything with a flying monkey or anyone who pops up out of the woodwork, because there's a reason for that. What that most likely means, the narcissist, A, their supply source isn't cutting it these days, or B, you popped up on their radar for some reason, and they're trying to get you back for another round of abuse, because most likely you've healed and you've replenished your resources, and you are looking good, you are stronger, and you are in the third version of you, the most galvanized version of you. But the narcissist, they may try to Hoover you, they may not. That's another thing. If the narcissist has never tried to Hoover you, consider that a badge of honor. That means the narcissist has shriveled up and disappeared into the darkness. And unfortunately, they've glommed onto another source of supply, but it's not you. So that's why you need to understand that going no contact is the path, and having boundaries is definitely the path, and keeping these people as far away from you as possible is 100% the path. But escaping the narcissistic fog and breaking the trauma bond, that's something you will do if you haven't done it already. These things are very difficult things to do, I will tell you firsthand. But again, if I did it, you can do it. You need to be patient, calm, stoic, centered, focused, resilient, full of fortitude, courage, and resilience. And you need to understand that this is your life. You should not be captured by anybody. You should not be peppered with abuse, verbal abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse, at times physical abuse. There's no place on this planet for those things, but that's what the narcissist does, because they want to break you down, and they wanted to break you down when you were with them in the past. This is exactly how they go from relationship to relationship, person to person, business to business, town to town, city to city, country to country, blowing up everything that they encounter. The narcissist cares about only one person, and it certainly is not you. It is themselves, and they don't care what they have to do each and every day to get what they want from virtually anybody. So understand this. You must close the chapter on the narcissist, and you must begin to live your best life. You must also escape the narcissistic fog fully, and you must break the trauma bond once and for all. Understand the message. This is a message of inspiration, of hope, of growth, and of abundance. Understand what I'm sharing with you. So guys, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the cold Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. God bless you. I love you all. It is really cold, so I'm going to close this video out now, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day, guys. I love you all. Bye.